So in a lot of countries, voting happens where you pick your top candidates. And then the person with the most top votes, the most votes, wins. But that misses information, like people have other optional candidates. Like if their candidate wasn't going to win, who would their second choice be? And that can be important information. So here, you have the opportunity to vote on something, social media apps. So, which should be the best social media app from your opinion? Should it be Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, or Twitter? Now, maybe your favorite candidate ain't in here. You could tell me about it. Often ballots have a write-in. But here, I'm not just collecting what is your favorite. I want to know top 4 so we can rank them. How does one rank data like this? So the information's collected, we get the votes. And I've collected all the votes in a spreadsheet. Now the first group of votes, these are students from previous quarter. Your votes will be added in here too. So for each person, I can see what they thought number 1, 2, 3, and 4 are. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So what happens next? Well, next the group that takes the votes in, like usually the Elections Bureau, takes those votes and has to analyze them. And there are computer programs that help do this. So I did a rough version of this in a spreadsheet. If I were going to do this on a daily basis, I would write a program that does it automatically, and then I can review the results for accuracy. So I have a summary here. And so going through and counting how many times did Instagram win, and oops, button. How many times did Snapchat win? How many times was Instagram second or third or fourth? So I count through them over here. That's previous information. Explain what a board account is later. And again, the information has to be summarized. So raw votes come in. Those raw votes have to be summarized, and there's lots of ways to summarize them. So here I'm just counting first place, second place, third place votes based on the data that's coming in. Here I've sorted the votes alphabetically by first, then second, then third, then fourth. So there's different orders that will come in. How many different orders can 4 things come in? Well, there's 4 ways you can choose the first place. Once that's picked, there's 3 ways to choose the second place. Once that picks, there's 2 ways to choose the third place, and then fourth place is whatever's left. So that's 4 times 3 times 2. 4 times 3 is 12, times 2 is 24. That means there's 24 different ways you could put in order first, second, third, fourth: Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, and Twitter. Were all 24 possible orderings achieved in the voting that happened with this last group? No. For example, the order Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat, nobody voted in that order, right? So here I'm counting up the different ways people voted, and then I have a condensed version of it here. When you condense the order, the ways people can vote and how many people voted in each way like that, this is called a preference schedule. So let's summarize the big ideas here. First is this here, that we have some way to vote and choose first, second, third, fourth, and so on. And let's add that here. This right here is called a preference ballot for voting.
Is this the same as ranked choice voting?
It is, yeah. Let's add that in here. Right, so we're ranking our choices from first to whatever last is. And in this case, last is fourth, but there could be only 3 choices. There could be 10 choices. Some primary elections in the United States are moving to ranked choice ballot, where you get to vote on any candidate, regardless of political party in the primary, and then the top group gets to move on to the election, whatever that top group size is chosen to be. And there's different ways to then analyze these ranked choices, and that's what we're going to learn about this quarter. So once we collect all of those votes, there's many ways to summarize them. One way to summarize them would be using what's called a preference schedule here, where we list all possible orderings of candidates that came in through the votes and how many people voted for each type of order. So this is just a summary of that data. And this one right here is called the preference schedule. So it's a summary of the preferences. Now, in this particular ballot, there are 4 options for voting. And that means your first choice, you have 4 options for your first choice. Once you pick your first choice, there's then 3 left for second place. Once you pick your third place, there's then 2 left for third place. And then there's only 1 candidate left. So the number of ways you can sort 4 things in unique ways, there are 24 different ways to do that, 4 times 3 times 2. So in an election with 4 people, it's possible there would be 24 different columns in the preference schedule. Often not all of those possibilities end up working out. And you end up with a preference schedule that has slightly less than the total possible different ways you can order the votes. If we happen to have 3 candidates, like suppose we only were looking at Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok, then as far as total choices for ordering 3 things, there would be 3 times 2 times 1, or only 6 possible ways you can order 3 things. And our goal in this chapter is to then look at different methods for choosing a winner based on this ranked choice or this preference ballot. And there's many ways you can analyze the results and choose a winner, and they all have their pros and their cons. And so that's what we're going to go over in this chapter.